Hello everyone, happy Halloween. Well, today's not Halloween, but for today's video, for the Halloween special, I'm going to be reviewing The Others, and you're also going to see my top 10 favorite Universal Monster movie list. You're going to get two videos on Halloween for a bonus. Here's my DVD/Blu-ray copy of The Others. Here's a DVD of The Others, and here's my Blu-ray of The Others. I recently got this at a place called Cheapo's back in Long Island, where I'm from originally. The Others is a psychological, supernatural ghost movie that was made by Warner Sage Films. The film was directed by Alejandro Amenabar, if I'm saying his name right, and he also wrote the film too. The Others was produced by Fernando Boveri, Jose Luis Corda, and Summon Park. I'm sorry I'm not saying these names right. The movie stars Nicole Kidman, who's done a lot of good movies like Eyes Wide Shut, Moulin Rouge, Cold Mountain, and The Hours. Vignola Flanagan, Elaine Cassidy, Eric Skies, Alakina Mann, and James Bentley. The movie was released on August 2nd, 2001, and made $209.1 million at the box office. The Others is about Grace, a religious mother of two children who move into an English coast during World War II. While staying there, she's waiting to hear about her missing husband who's out fighting the war. Grace's children have a rare disease where they are photosensitivity, where the sun can do harm to them. Grace's daughter Annie claims she has seen ghosts. Grace thinks that the servants are playing tricks on her children. But strange events and visions make Grace believe that the house is haunted. It's hard for me to believe that this movie is like 20 years old. I remember this movie came out when I was 8 years old, but around the time when this movie came out, I was not really big into horror movies at the time. I was afraid to go see it. I used to be afraid of ghost movies and stories as a little kid growing up, and now I find them very interesting and fascinating as an adult now. This is also going to come as a shock to you, but as a kid growing up, I didn't like horror movies. The only horror movies I watched as a little kid were the 1920s silent black and white films like Phantom of the Opera, The Hunchback, and Nosferatu. Also Universal Monsters and King Kong. They didn't scare me as much as like Freddy, Jason, or gore films. The first time I saw this movie was in recent years, back in 2019. It actually really scared me, but in a good way. The jump scenes were great, had some of the best jump scares in a horror movie, and it also had a great example of fake jump scares that did not happen, done very well. I also did not see the big twist coming in this movie. If you haven't seen this movie, stop the video right here because this video is going to be a big spoiler review. The big twist in this movie is that the main characters are the ghosts in the movie, and the ghosts are being haunted by the new homeowners. Not only was that the big twist, it's also a big twist that the mother went crazy and killed her own children because of not dealing with the disease that her children had, being photosensitivity and depression on her missing husband fighting the battles of World War II, of not knowing what happened to him, whether he was dead or alive. This movie was basically the Sixth Sense twist ending, and this movie came out 2 years after The Sixth Sense. Compared to The Sixth Sense, I actually guessed that like right away and saw the twist coming, whereas in this film, I did not see the twist coming at all. It was a big surprise and shocker to me. Watching this movie on a second viewing, now I see the big hints they give this movie that makes you realize that they are the ghosts. One hint I noticed when Grace tells Mr. Tuttle to find the gravestones of the ghosts, and Mr. Tuttle comes to make sure they don't find out that they are the real ghosts, and also make sure that they do not know that Lydia Mills and Tuttle are also ghosts. Another important hint that they've pointed out of knowing that they're ghosts is that Grace finds an old photo of Mrs. Mills, Mr. Tuttle, and Lydia that was taken in 1891. They had died in 1891 from a tuberculosis outbreak. The movie also reminded me it had some similarities to The Innocents in some ways. It makes me wonder if Alejandro Amenabar was inspired from The Innocents. But he made this movie his own and not making this a remake. In the future, this would be a great video topic comparing The Innocents to The Others. This movie has a great fog and candlelight atmosphere shots that are beautiful to look at. The movie also points out how just because someone claims that they are religious does not mean that they're a better person. What makes this horror movie so special, unique, and original is that the ghosts are being haunted by the intruders. Most movies is about the humans being haunted by the ghosts, and not seeing the ghosts that much. Well, sometimes, depending on which ghost movie you've seen, like for example, Poltergeist, The Shining, The Haunting, Beetlejuice, and The Sixth Sense. Nicole Kidman did a great job in this movie. She should have been nominated for an Oscar because her performance in this movie is definitely Oscar-worthy material. One thing I've noticed is that she definitely looks identical to Grace Kelly. It makes me wonder if Alfred Hitchcock directed this film back in the day. That could have been pretty cool. She's like all stereotypical mothers. She worries for her children because of their condition. Because it was World War II at the time, she was scared and worried, not sure where her husband was. She was also a very strict religious mother to her children. The kids' actors in these movies were also pretty good. The daughter Anne, a little bratty, but she was not wrong the whole time about being a ghost and the intruders. The scene when she is trying on her communion dress and Grace finds her daughter look like an older woman. Before I saw this movie, I knew about that scene from the trailer marketing advertisements. I remember being like so scared and freaked out watching that scene as a kid on TV through the trailers. It points how the second meeting made contact with Annie. Her brother Nicholas was sensitive, scared, and afraid. Unlike their mother, who believed in God and was very religious because Grace's parents told her believed that there was a God, you can point and argue that both kids were both either atheists or more agnostic. They believed God and Jesus and Moses, but they did not believe in the Bible stories. Anne did not believe God created the world in 7 days, and Noah did not save all those animals on the boat. Another great performance in this movie is Mrs. Mill, played by Irish stage character actress Finola Flanagan, who I've seen in other movies like Four Brothers with Mark Wahlberg and Yes Man with Jim Carrey. What I like about her character in this movie, she's sweet, she's nice, she's patient, she's a kind, caring person. She loves the children and cares about them as if they were her own children. She's like a grandma figure to Grace's children. Like I said before, watching this a second time, I did not see the big twist that she was also a ghost. Mrs. Mills was like a messenger to Grace, telling her about the intruders of the house to scare away, and be ready for future intruders to scare away, so that way the house is protected. I like when she tells Grace that there is not always an answer on the afterlife and supernatural ghosts. Because it's true, we're all human beings. No one has the answer to those questions about the supernatural. Just like The Innocents, if you're not a horror fan, you will love this movie. There's no gore in it, it's about atmosphere, suspense, and a great big twist ending. And if you love ghost stories or the paranormal activity, this is a must-watch movie for all you people. My mother, for example, hates horror movies, and yet she loves this movie. She loves ghost stories and finds them interesting and fascinating. Makes me think of another good idea for a video topic. Horror movies that people love and enjoy if you're not into horror movies and want to start easing your way into loving horror movies. I'm not sure that's what the name of the title will be, but you get the point, the idea to that. The Others is one of my all-time favorite horror movies. It'll definitely be a horror movie I'll be returning to rewatch on more viewings in the future. Thanks for watching this video. Like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get the latest updates on my YouTube channel, and see you next time. And have a happy Halloween, and be safe.